Now, SMEs account for an appreciable amount and percentage of the national gross domestic product of many countries. The African Development Bank estimates that SMEs provide about 80% to 90% of employment, and sub-Saharan Africa alone has about 44 million micro, small and medium enterprises, representing an important driver of economic growth across the continent. But for many SMEs in Africa, the past few years have been trying times. From COVID-19 supply disruptions to the effects of the Ukraine crisis, many are struggling. While the challenges are similar across the continent, they are personal to the millions of billions and billions of businesses and business owners who simply want to stay afloat. And this is why we have the impact. Now, to share the stories of the very real people who are impacted by the economic realities around them, we have someone from Bulawayo, Zimbabwe, who is in the name of Mlelusizo Nkombe, a chef entrepreneur. She is the founder of Stir Up Chefs and Travel, a grassroots culinary school and travel agency which empowers women and youth with sustainable cooking skills and advocates for rural tourism to discuss this particular topic. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. It's good to be on the news today.
Okay, no problem. Let's just get right into it. Now, the current economic situation is just another layer of challenges brought on by the Ukraine crisis. Unfortunately, the struggle really started from COVID-19. Now, how did these challenges and situations, even the pandemic, how did they impact your business?
Well, to be honest, most of the clients which are focused is on women and girls. The school is actually focusing on training them, but they've got to pay for their cooking classes. Unfortunately, because everybody was impacted during the COVID-19, people were not able to raise or generate funds that could make them able to pay for their culinary classes, meaning that the number of people attending the cooking school have dwindled, and we have to keep on waiting and try other innovative ways of making whoever comes to pay in foreign currency. We have a big challenge of our Zim dollar depreciating every day. So when
Hello, Nkombe?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead.
The other challenge as well is you are all aware that there is about above 90% unemployment rate. Everybody has got to be innovative to generate revenue just for bread, and it's always hand to mouth. So in businesses like mine, we suffer because people have got to turn out in numbers for us to make a profit margin. Otherwise, besides that, we have to make them pay, so that at least it keeps on adding value to our businesses, of which again foreign currency is a big challenge. Not everybody can easily access it.
Yeah, we get to talk about forex accessibility, but then looking at your business, we understand that supply disruptions are continuing, but then in what areas in terms of production and overhead costs would you say that this is increasing? Where have you seen increases now?
We have serious challenges because people are not banking their foreign currency in the banks. They've lost trust in the banks. There is an option of the gold coins, but that has not been released to the public. So the access of foreign currency is still a challenge. So it's a matter of managing with the currencies that we have borrowed. We're using borrowed currencies, the South African rand, the American dollar, and our own depreciating Zimbabwean dollar, of which is an extreme challenge. So money in terms of eco-cash and other payment methods, which is still a challenge because it is very difficult to access or people to raise money that is surplus and can afford to have them buy foreign currency, which is limited obviously to big businesses, and SMEs suffer a lot.
All right, so in terms of expenditure and income, how have you been able to balance the books? Did you at some point have to add the price or the cost of production on the services or the goods that you're rendering? You transfer the cost to consumers so as to be able to stay afloat, or how have you been able to adapt so far?
Of course, I've tried to put the prices up, but because the consumers of my services, they are struggling. So I've actually altered to source my products from local farmers, because I focus more on training people on how to cook using indigenous ingredients. So it has also helped me to develop a strategy where I have to grow my own produce to be able to at least give quality service to my clients. And again, we are focusing more on using our social capital, depending on other entrepreneurs and other SMEs who have got products. We interchange our products. The barter trade, if you can understand, it has managed to keep us surviving.
All right, talking about survival now, we know that these challenges could also spring up people losing their jobs, unemployment rates, having to keep people, engaged within the course of your business. So do you have to lay some of your staff off at some point, or how do you do it that you keep them, within the confines of your business and of course keep them happy too?
Please come again with your question.
All right, so I'm saying that we understand that the situation can be quite challenging, and you having to keep your staff. Now, in some organizations, they have to do a bit of downsizing, laying off of staff, so as just to be able to live within the means of what they have financially. So, at some point, do you have to lay off staff, or how do you do it that you're able to keep your staff engaged and keep them happy?
Okay, one of my biggest strengths is managing to train my staff to be able to do the same thing in different positions. So whenever there is no much clients within the business, I release the clients to go and at least serve. I release the staff to go and at least serve in their community in exchange of money that could keep them going. So in the similar case on my own, I have to downsize as well and get the students helping me to produce and then exchanging the knowledge for some work.
All right, so finally, what would you say the government can do to help mitigate the impact of inflation, inaccessibility of forex, and every other challenge that makes up the crisis that you're faced with in your business?
To be honest, I will speak for other young people in business. The government is trying empowerment bank, but the loan comes in our Zimbabwean dollars, which loses power within 3 days. If the government at least could consider giving out youth to start business or to grow their business in foreign currency, at least in that way they can be able to grow and sustain without fear of having the money losing value before they could even implement their projects.
All right, thank you so much, Lilu Zizo. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right, now for business owners, sustaining operations might be pretty challenging now as they battle internal and external shocks while having to wait for government intervention, like our guest has said, through policies and support. Finding ways to adapt and taking inventory of expenditure and earnings will sure help to navigate the crisis before things steady. And that's it on this part of the discussion. We go on a short break and we'll bring you NC4 to watch. Looking at the top trending business stories, we start by telling you that Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe has sold 6,800 gold coins, mopping up over 5.5 billion Zimbabwean dollars from the market. This has caused Zimbabwean companies more stress since it sucked out liquidity in the market. The introduced gold coins were used to mop excess local currency balances. South Africa's energy minister has dismissed the notion that renewable electricity can bring an end to years of rolling blackouts, pointing to Europe's pivot back to the use of fossil fuels as evidence of the constraints of using green energy. Mineral Resources and Energy Minister Gwede Mantashe adds that solar and wind plants can be used to supplement coal, gas and nuclear power generation, but has limitations when it comes to meeting South Africa's needs, such as supplying power to mines. Away from that, the 2021 Ghana Auditor General's report has disclosed that documents of 5 divested enterprises by the Divestiture Implementation Committee cannot be found, or maybe it's missing. The audit team noted several irregularities with regard to the reported sale of 5 divested enterprises. It recommended that the committee should obtain copies of certified liabilities and reports of the enterprises divested from the consultants engaged. And finally, Ethiopian Airlines and Travel Ports, a global travel technology company, have renewed a deal which includes distribution on the Travel Port Plus platform, including new distribution capability content from the airline. This agreement expands the ongoing travel retailing and distribution relationship between Travelport and Ethiopia, which was ranked the #1 airline within the African continent. And that's it on today's edition of A Business Edge. Do not forget that you can follow us on our social media platforms at New Central TV. Head to our website, www.newcentral.africa, and also download our mobile app on App Store and Play Store so that you can get engaged with so many information that we have for you there. At the top of the hour, the news will come your way. We have other programs for you, so stay with us even as we serenade you with what we have. My name is Lekon Obanjo. Have a beautiful day.